Um, Hello, I'm Kabir, and I'm a student at this very school. And for the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'm your TEDx speaker. I want to start off by asking you a question, and I really want your take on this. Is free will a real thing? Now, really take your time to think about it, because some of you will very instinctively and passionately say, yeah, of course it is. I make my own choices. I always make my own decisions. Yes, free will is real. But then think a little deeper. How many times have you done something not because it was what you wanted, but because of what other people expected from you? How many times have you asked yourself, do I really want to be doing this? And the answer has been no, but you kept going because you had to. I'm willing to bet it's a lot of times. Because, ladies and gentlemen, in this day and age, we live in a world full of pressures. We're puppets in it, and we're controlled by the pressures of a loud and ever changing world around us. We're just people whispers that move along this world of noise. But through this talk, I want to tell you how you can use that whisper as your anchor and your strength. And by the end of this, you'll walk away knowing how to never lose yourself in this world of noise. It was French author Anais Nin who once said, we see things not as they are, we see them as we are. And that's a sentiment I want each and every one of you to carry throughout this talk. Because the theme, whispers in the noise, will mean different things to different people. To some of you, it might mean a quiet person put into a sea of noise, into a world that forces you to scream. To others, it might mean an introvert dropped into a sea of extroverts and forced to swim. To the less poetic among you, it might literally mean whispering something to your best friend in a noisy classroom. To me, the noise is everything external: responsibilities, expectations, other people's opinions, even your own self doubt is a noise. And the whisper? The whisper is you. Your voice is the whisper. It's the part that doesn't shout but insists. It's the part of you that doesn't need approval to feel real. It's constant, it's persistent. It's the quiet conviction that lives on even in your darkest days. When you want to give up but you keep going, that's the whisper. And this whisper is the cornerstone of emotional resilience. Because emotional resilience isn't about never breaking or being unshaken. Emotional resilience has always been about adapting when you're at your worst, maintaining your core identity of who you are, and snapping back stronger than ever. Every single one of you in this audience has that emotional resilience because you have a whisper, but we sometimes don't listen to it. And that's because of the noise. The noise is everywhere. The noise is constant. The noise is loud. It's the pressure to fit in. It's the pressure to speak up when you're not ready. It's the pressure to stay quiet when you know you should speak. It's always the pressure to perform, to conform, to please others. But your whisper will always remain your anchor. It'll be there for you. I want to tell you all a story from my life. And it's a story I was very hesitant to talk about on this forum, but I will anyway. Picture this. It's 2015, and a 6-year-old Kabir Chibber has just shifted from Delhi in India to California in the United States of America. It's a pretty big shift for a second grader, right? You want to know what the real kicker was? It's the fact that I didn't belong, and everyone around me made sure I knew it. I felt lost. In a classroom full of foreign accents and unfamiliar faces, I was forced to accept that being quiet was safer than being misunderstood. So I descended into being quiet, shy. I tried to be invisible. I became that quiet kid. You know the type. The type to sit in a corner, read a book, and never make eye contact with anyone. But that's from the outside. What people couldn't see on the inside was that I never lost myself or my identity. I still pushed myself to study hard. I pushed myself to participate in class, to raise my hand, to try to compete in competitions. I tried. And that trying was my emotional resilience. It was my whisper. It was that whisper that took over me when I was at my lowest. It took over my actions without me realizing it. and it was stronger than any noise in the world outside. This experience is great, but how can that help you find your whisper and to keep it in a world full of noise? Well, there are 4 steps that work for me, and I think that they can work for you too. The first step is to pause. We live in a world that forces us to be fast. It appreciates speed over silence. I want you to pause, to think, because you can't find out who you are when your mind is constantly buzzing with the noise of the world around you. You can't, it's impossible. So stay quiet. Think about who you really are when no one is watching. That's a good start to find your whisper. The second step is to protect it. Because not everyone will understand what your whisper is, much less agree with it. People won't understand, they'll expect you to conform. But you need to learn to say no, and that's powerful. You need to admit that you want to be yourself. You have to make sure that being true to yourself is more important to you than being accepted. That's important. Step 3 is to practice with it. Practice makes perfect, right? You want to align your everyday actions to your whisper, not to conformity. You want to make sure that everything you do aligns with what you truly believe in. And that only comes with practice. Step 4 is to share it. Because somewhere out there, someone you know in your life struggles to be themselves. They want to conform, they want to be appreciated and loved. And they do that by putting up an act. So share your story because it might just be the spark that somebody else needs to be themselves. So let me tell you how my story has been going so far. 2 years passed in America, and I shifted back to India in 4th grade. Another pretty big shift for me. In fact, a lot of people say I still haven't lost the accent, which at this point can't really be true. But anyway, when I came back, I was shy, I was quiet, still. There was no magical transformation. I was shy and quiet well into high school. I remember the first day of 9th grade, after 2 years in the lockdown of online classes. I came back, opened up my iPad, and stared into it, hoping that no one would try to talk to me. I was shy, yes. And the funny thing is that the people who've gotten to know me in the last 2 years have laughed to me in my face when I've told them the story. And the reason is now people consider me social, energetic, extroverted even. And that's a transformation that didn't happen in a snap. There was no pivotal moment that changed me. There was no one night, one day, one competition that completely transformed my life. No, that's just not how the world works. They were a series of whispers, small decisions, small moments, just practicing with my whisper, using my voice, staying true to myself. And that made all the difference. So here I am, on a stage, talking in front of you. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous and I'm afraid. Every word that I say is a chance that I might be saying something completely wrong. I might be making a fool of myself. But I think it's worth it because I'm true to my whisper. And I believe this is important for all of you to know. And that whisper means that I'm anchored. And being anchored means that I'm not that afraid. So I stand here not because I'm fearless, but because I'm anchored. And that's the message I want to leave with you. You need to learn the fact that the noise is everywhere and it will remain everywhere. But what's stronger is your whisper because it's inside you. It is in you and it will always remain in you if you can just listen to it. I want to take your mind back to the rock band that performed at the very start of this TEDx talk. They sang the song It's My Life by Bon Jovi. I want you to realize it because it is your life and no one else can make you conform. As humans, we're sometimes driven by emotions of love and hate. We often act on what we love about others and hate about ourselves. But I want you to stop and I want you to act on who you are. Listen to that whisper in the noise and act on it. Thank you.